Good evening and thanks for watching Fox 31 News at 10. I'm Aaron Leedy. Extreme heat is in the forecast. Let's get right to Fox 31 meteorologist Carrie Capello. Hey, Carrie.
Hey, Aaron, happy Wednesday, Southwest Georgia. We're talking about the heat really all week long, and it looks like it's going to stick around for quite some time across South Georgia. We're already starting to feel the heat. Today, 95 degrees. That's about 6 degrees off the norm for where we should be this time of year, but it's not too far off of the record set back in 1962. These record temperatures are soon to be our high temperatures across South Georgia in just a few days. Already starting to cool a little bit across South Georgia now that we're heading into the overnight. We're seeing 81 in Leesburg right now, 84 here in the Good Life City, 82 in Newton, 83 in Cordele. That's the same for areas north of Highway 82 in our eastern neighborhoods. And we're even seeing 79, the cool spot in Pearson, 80 degrees in Douglas. These temperatures will be cooling a little bit. We're still heading back to school once again tomorrow, 73 out the door at 8 o'clock. By lunchtime, 87 degrees, and into the afternoon and evening in the low 90s. Here's a quick look at our headlines. We're still continuing to expect those record-setting heat and those record-setting temperatures in South Georgia, really moving in for the weekend and next week. No rain in sight, but we do have some rain in the 10-day. I'll let you know when we may see some measurable rain. Plus, a look at the tropics, still falling Andrea, even though it's not impacting the United States, what could be in the near future.
Carrie, thanks so much. During these hot temperatures, the Department of Public Health is urging you to never leave a child or an animal unattended in a hot vehicle. On a 70-degree day, the car can reach up to 113 degrees in a matter of minutes. District Deputy Health Director Brenda Green says every parent should check twice before getting out of their vehicle. She recommends putting personal belongings like a purse or shoes in the back seat so that you have to reach around to grab them.
Anything that can help remind you that you have a child in the car with you is an important thing to consider.
No child or pet should be left in a car that's not turned on or air conditioned for any amount of time. If you're feeling abnormal, dizzy, nauseous, have a bad headache, or your pulse is pounding, Green says these are all signs you're getting too hot. If your symptoms are more serious, she recommends calling 911 and seeking medical attention. With temperatures rising, one Georgia organization wants to make sure no child is left in a hot vehicle. The Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning, along with other state agencies, are spreading awareness about this with the help from Governor Brian Kemp. Kemp will be issuing a proclamation naming this Friday, May 24th, as Look Again Day in Georgia. The purpose is to always account for children in the parent or guardian's care as they drive from place to place. Health officials are offering these tips for staying safe in the heat. If you have plans outside, it's best to limit your outdoor activity to the morning or evening hours. Stay hydrated, rest in shaded areas, and protect yourself from the sun by wearing a hat and also wearing sunscreen. If you feel your body is unable to stay cool, here are the warning signs for heat stroke, dizziness, nausea, confusion, and a throbbing headache. Extreme heat this week won't just affect you, it could put one of your favorite fruits at risk. Matt Mackey with our sister station WGXA tells us what the triple digits mean for Georgia's peach crop.
In Crawford County, peach season is picking up.
We're really kind of catching our stride in terms of volume. So right now we're picking some great peaches.
But triple-digit heat might put a damper on things. The crew at Dickey Farms in Musella is working to keep their orchard from drying out this week.
We're trying to get all our irrigation equipment prepared and kind of get ready and really making sure the trees have plenty of moisture.
But in prime peach picking season, you've also got to worry about the workers in the fields.
We try to start at daybreak with the coolest temperatures of the day.
But there's only so much you can do before it gets too hot. And when the peaches are ripe, they've got to be picked, or else
it'll be just a complete loss. So they've got to be picked. So we've got to be careful in terms of personnel in the field and making sure they're hydrated and not getting too hot.
So go ahead and get your favorite fruit now, before the worst of the heat sets in.
The peaches are in, and now's a great time to come out.
Looking ahead, AAA says you can expect a lot of traffic this Memorial Day weekend. In the U.S., motor vehicle crashes are a leading cause of death for people from ages 1 to 54. AAA says about 40,000 people were killed in crashes in 2017, but experts say many of these deaths can be prevented.
speeding vehicles. A lot of times during the holidays we get an excess of volume increases on the road, and then when people are speeding, it causes more accidents. Following too closely then becomes a problem. A lot of times during these holidays we get a lot more drinking and driving going on, so those factors also play into it.
Many Georgia agencies will be participating in the Click It or Ticket campaign and also the 100 Days of Summer Heat, which is a 4-month program focused on traffic enforcement of high speed, aggressive, and distracted driving. This Memorial Day, law enforcement wants to remind you to stay safe not only on the road, but also on the water. Fox 31's Shelby Williams tells us what officials are warning about for the holiday weekend.
Looking to catch a break this weekend if you get pulled over? The DNR and GSP says not a chance. They're planning on only issuing citations over the holiday weekend, not warnings. They say they're cracking down on boater safety and drunk drivers.
We want to reduce any type of boating under the influence. We want to reduce any type of driving under the influence we can to make this a safe holiday.
Today, the GSP, CCSO, and the DNR all got together to discuss safety procedures for Memorial Day and boating under the influence. The DNR took a quick patrol around Lake Blackshear and talked about options that boaters do have. They said someone without a license driving your boat is a lesser penalty than you driving it drunk. They say their main goal is to avoid crashes and accidents.
I've seen boat catch on fire and everything else. Filled it up at the dock. Boat backfired. When it backfired, it basically ruined the whole boat. Caught the marina on fire.
Law enforcement says they see drunk boaters in the water all the time. The DNR sends out one message for Memorial Day weekend. If you drive a boat drunk, you will get arrested for BWI. Last year, 6 boaters were arrested for BWIs alone. In addition, they're reminding parents to keep children in life jackets at all times when in a boat. Sheriff Hancock adds boating while drunk does more harm than you think.
It impairs your thinking. It impairs the way you operate that boat. So if you're trying to pull a skier, if someone's under the influence, they may come in that area a little fast or a little hot in that area for you. And you've got to obey all the buoys and the wake signs.
Lake Blackshear Resort sees more than 500,000 people every year, and they plan on making this year more safe than ever. Shelby Williams, Fox 31 News.
I told you last night at 10 about a new law that'll affect the foster care system in Georgia. Well, tonight we're taking a closer look at how the law affects the Division of Family and Children's Services. Pamela Lofton, the Dougherty County Director for DFACS, says the law doesn't change their services, it simply expedites them. The law puts a timeline on how long the agency has to find the foster child's family. She says their main goal is to keep the children near their families and close to the communities with which they're familiar.
Do have to come in foster care and they end up in foster care. Our goal is still to, what the bill wants us to do is seek relatives sooner, make sure that we are looking for relatives starting day one, that we are keeping relatives informed on what's going on.
Lofton says the law acknowledges foster children form a bond with their foster family, so after a foster child has been with their foster family for a year, it's presumed that continuing with the foster parent is what's in the child's best interest. Throughout the country, pro-choice supporters held Stop the Ban rallies yesterday in response to recent restrictive abortion laws passed in several states. Alabama basically outlawed abortion. Here in Georgia, a law was passed to ban abortion when a heartbeat is detected. Missouri passed a similar law with no exceptions for rape or incest. And Illinois lawmakers are considering a bill that modernizes a 44-year-old abortion law by removing the procedure from the criminal code and treating it as health care. Well, Gloria Allred says she had an abortion when the procedure was illegal. Speaking in New York at a rally against recently passed abortion bans in several states, the women's rights lawyer revealed she was raped in Mexico. Allred says it happened at gunpoint in the 1960s when she was in her 20s. She describes the abortion she had when she returned to the U.S. as taking place in a bathtub and performed by an unlicensed provider. Allred says when she hemorrhaged afterward, the person who performed the abortion left her alone. She says she was then admitted to the hospital with a 106-degree fever. Allred says if the new abortion legislation is successful in overturning Roe versus Wade, this is the situation women will face once again. While some states are tightening abortion restrictions, Nevada's loosening them. The state legislature passed a bill yesterday that changes state law. Doctors do not have to describe the emotional implications of abortion, nor do they have to confirm in writing marital status, age, or consent before the procedure. The state assembly, which has a female majority, passed the bill by a vote of 27 to 13. It now goes to the Senate, which approved it last month, for a final vote before it goes to the governor's desk for a signature. If the bill gets signed into law, it'll become official July 1st. People across the country are sharing their thoughts on this ongoing debate. Here on our Banjo app, one user says pro-choice doesn't mean pro-abortion. It means that your choice is none of my business and you have the right to choose. Another user says it's so upsetting watching people try to justify killing innocent babies. It's never okay to take a life, no matter how small. And one user says until rape stops, access to safe abortions can't stop. Focus on the problem, not the symptoms. New at 10, how hot weather could make playtime dangerous this weekend. Plus,
plans for an infrastructure bill hit a major roadblock. I'm Scott Thuman in Washington with how a meeting between President Trump and Democrats took a wrong turn.